Hi everyone, this is Ali Hussein Kasim of Ali Talks Tech. This week's weekly roundup, we're looking at 4 interesting stories. Africa's cross-border payments are going political. CBK's big bang for Fintech, that's Central Bank of Kenya. Then we look at AI, military power, and the new corporate conscious. And last but not least, I will cover the story around your phone number being masked. So your phone number just got safer on Pesa. So let's unpack Africa's cross-border payments that are going political. A couple of days ago, the African Union heads of state, those are presidents, prime ministers across Africa, reaffirmed the importance of the Pan-African Payment Settlement System, or PAPSS as an acronym. They reaffirmed it and affirmed that it is now the official settlement platform for the African continent's free trade zone. That's AfCFTA. This is very crucial, guys, because first, you want to appreciate and understand how shocking it is that Africans trade less with each other than with the rest of the world. Intra-Africa's trade is only 15 to 18%. This is just crazy. It's something that needs to change. But one of the key issues also is just really the payment system. If I send dollars to, say, Nigeria in the traditional way through SWIFT, that money is routed to New York through something called a correspondent bank. Don't ask me what that means. Then from New York, it's sent to Nigeria. And this is all around this global reserve currency issue, which regional groups are now asking themselves some very, very tough questions. Why do I need to pay you in US dollars and you're an African like myself? It's because of the whole reserve currency thing. So this PAPSS conversation is supposed to cure some of this illness. Will it? To date, you don't actually have the full African continent plugged on to PAPSS. That's one. Two, I think PAPSS itself needs to think through how payment systems operate and bring on board all stakeholders, because people are starting to ask some very tough questions. The value chain around PAPSS, who's eating what, who's benefiting what, and ultimately, how cheaper is it? One of the most critical things I think that has happened in the last couple of days is this fact that the heads of state has affirmed, the group of heads of state across Africa has affirmed that PAPSS is an important conduit for our money. So I am really hoping that this will work in the right direction. So we are also starting to see that PAPSS has signed up quite a number of banks across Africa. They have signed up platforms like Pesa Link, and I think NIBS in Nigeria is also there. The CanSwitch, I'm hoping, is also already there. So we are starting to see Africa taking itself a little bit more seriously than it used to be. And PAPSS is an important component of that. My hope and prayer is that that traction and that enthusiasm towards the PAPSS will not just be a political statement, but will actually see actual traction happening within intra-Africa trade using PAPSS. This is a continuing developing story, and I'll be covering it as we move along. My next story is the Central Bank of Kenya's big bang push for fintech. Let me break it down for you. Who the central bank regulates: your banks, your deposit-taking microfinance institutions, your credit reference bureaus, your payment service providers, these are fintechs, your digital credit providers, these are also fintechs, but also some banks, your mobile money, e-money players like Airtel Money and Pesa. The Central Bank of Kenya is saying we need to widen this engagement with fintech. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the minute you get an imprimatur from the regulator, the central regulator in financial services, that means you have credibility with your investors, with your customers, and so on and so forth. However, it's very crucial. I wrote about this a couple of days ago on my LinkedIn page, and I said the industry needs to have a seat at the table. As the CBK revamps the CBK Act, the fintech industry, the financial services industry needs to have a seat at the table, just like what is happening with the virtual asset service providers. It is super, super crucial that the industry gets involved. The industry is involved, and I am championing a conversation around this. One thing I must say is that we have seen a tremendous evolution in Kenya in how policymakers and regulators are treating the fintech ecosystem. And that is actually a positive evolution. I think there's still a lot more work to be done. So hope and prayer again is that this momentum will continue. This is an evolving story again. We will definitely keep it moving in the right direction. My next story is on AI, military power, and the new corporate conscious. If you're an enthusiast of watching interesting series on TV, a couple of years ago, I was following this super interesting series called Person of Interest. And Person of Interest, the whole concept around the series was this AI platform that was built by a genius guy. And this AI platform evolved, and apparently there was an evil twin of the AI platform that really wanted to take over the world, and the story went on and on. We are today talking about autonomous AI. We're talking about autonomous platforms in military where artificial intelligence is being used at scale. We know the US, Israel, and even Iran is using some form of artificial intelligence in military operations. One specific company in the US, Anthropic, is clashing with the US government. And it's telling them we need to put guardrails on how you use our platforms and our systems. And the US government is like, WTF. You're not gonna tell us what to do. We are the United States of America. And the issue has blown up to the point where Anthropic has actually been blacklisted. And when you're blacklisted by the US government in terms of national security, it means simply you not only not going to do business with the US government, but you are not going to also do business with companies that do business with the US. I mean, this is just crazy. This is a US company. This is not a Chinese company like Huawei. I mean, I think the Trump administration is just going way, way overboard on this. But I mean, who am I to say? I'm just a mere Kenyan. But we have to pay clear attention on how artificial intelligence and other new technologies are actually used. When you remove, for example, human agency from something as crucial and as important as artificial intelligence used in military, a human has a completely different thought process than a mechanical artificial intelligence. I'm a big user of artificial intelligence. I'm also one of those who is very clear that if left uncontrolled, this thing can be super, super dangerous. We are seeing a new consciousness in tech companies where they're actually putting their foot down and telling their governments, you can do this. We have seen Anthropic, Google, OpenAI, although I hear OpenAI has signed, we don't have visibility on what they have agreed on. But quite a number of these companies are now telling the US government, we must put some guardrails. How far that's going to go, don't know. This is a very dangerous situation we are facing ourselves in. I mean, we're seeing what's going on in the Middle East today, and we're seeing the capabilities of the US and Israel, and we're also seeing the capabilities of Iran. How we are going to move towards this. We need to put some very serious guardrails on this technology that's super useful, but potentially is a double-edged sword. My last story is on the latest approval by the Central Bank of Kenya about M-Pesa usage and transaction and number masking. So, scenario. And we all face this. And it's not just when you are at a merchant. You made a payment, you've gone into a supermarket, you made a payment, or you've gone into any store, you made a payment. Half an hour later, you're getting promotional SMSs. I mean, that's just spam. I did not give you permission. The fact that I have come to your shop to buy does not mean that I've given you an imprimatur to splash me with nonsense. This spray and pray marketing needs to stop. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't even have words for it. So I think this is a great move by M-Pesa. I know some people would be up in arms. This is a great move by M-Pesa. I do not want to be spammed unless I give you permission to be communicating with me. And when you're communicating with me, right, communicate with me in a manner that I'm actually ready to buy or I'm in the buying process. Don't just be sending me stuff that I've not looked at, I have no interest in. So I think this is very important. The other thing that I believe this will curb is this SIM swapping that has been going on for a long time. 500 million shillings is being lost here and there. The other, it's hundreds of millions of shillings. So privacy as infrastructure is becoming super, super crucial. Now, some people may say, but you guys are giving your numbers everywhere, left, right, and center. Big tech has all your information. You walk into a building, there's an askari who's taking your phone number, your ID, sometimes which company I mean, this is hacker paradise. I mean, those guys, if somebody comes to them and say, Bwana, Elfushirini, please give me that book. Let me copy that book. That guy is sitting on halwa when it comes to hacking information. Now, you have those books, you have you using your personal stuff, but let's try as much as possible to maintain a certain level of privacy when it comes to sensitive information. And your phone number and your ID today is the thing that is going to be used for SIM swapping, the thing that's going to be used for guys hijacking your computer and using tech to give themselves one-time passwords, OTPs, and stuff like that. So let's be careful. And the Central Bank of Kenya and M-Pesa, Safaricom, this is a great service to the consumer. So kudos to that, and let's make sure that we're just not giving out information willy-nilly. You are going to live to regret it. Everybody has, at one point or another, faced a situation where they're about to be hacked or they have been hacked. So let's be conscious of how we show our information. Even the smallest type of information today can be used for social engineering. And that's it, guys. Looking forward to next week. Asanteni sana.